Proba 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Proba 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jesmo poslali, Else? Jes?
Je, ima. Nešto uradi, ima, nema. A? Ček, ček. Nema.
promijeni. Ako nije, imam problem,
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Thank you. Molimo vas da zauzmete mjesta. Uskoro ćemo početi sa konferencijom.
Poštovani gosti, dragi prijatelji, dobrodošli na drugi Sarajevo Migration Dialogue. Dragi se o regionalnoj saradnji, definisanju najboljih praksi u upravljanju migracijama, kao i jačanju kapaciteta za koordinaciju nadležnih institucija zemalja Zapadnog Balkana. Također, ministri regiona, predstavnici Evropske unije i međunarodnih organizacija segment u domaćina, ministra sigurnosti Bosne i Hercegovine Selme Cikotića, koji će dati osvrt na prvi Sarajevo Migration Dialogue. Zatim, tu je i poruka Ilve Johansson, evropske komesarke za unutrašnje poslove, a obratit će nam se i ambasador Evropske unije u Bosni i Hercegovini, gospodin Johan Zatler. Ja sam Larisa Omrčić, novinarka televizije Bosne i Hercegovine, aktivno pratim migrantsku krizu u Bosni i Hercegovini, regionu sve do grčko-turske granice i danas ću vas voditi kroz ovu konferenciju. Ovim putem želim reći hvala Ministarstvu sigurnosti na ukazanom povjerenju. Sada pozivam domaćina, ministra sigurnosti Bosne i Hercegovine, Selmu Cikotića, na uvodno izlaganje. Ministre, izvolite.
Cijenjene kolege ministri, članovi delegacija, predstavnici različitih međunarodnih organizacija, dame i gospodo, izuzetna mi je čast i zadovoljstvo da vas u ime Ministarstva sigurnosti Bosne i Hercegovine pozdravim i poželim dobrodošlicu na drugi sarajevski dijalog o migracijama. Bosna i Hercegovina je jedna od zemalja koja je bila posebno pogođena migrantskom krizom u prethodne 4 godine, kao zemlja koja graniči sa članicom Evropske unije, te je kontinuirano bila izložena povećanom broju nezakonitih prelazaka državne granice. Prvi sarajevski dijalog o migracijama proizveo je niz zaključaka i preporuka kojima je istaknut značaj regionalne kohezije i identifikacije najboljih strategija povratka i readmisije, umrežavanja aktera Evropske zajednice i Zapadnog Balkana, te definisanja najboljih praksi i pristupa izgradnje kapaciteta zemalja Zapadnog Balkana na jačanju poboljšanja u upravljanju migracija. Posebno je naglašena važnost jačanja razmjene informacija o dobrim praksama između zemalja regiona i Evropske unije, obavještajnih podataka o nezakonitim migracijama, te podataka o krivičnim djelima trgovine ljudima. Delegacija Ministarstva sigurnosti koju su sačinjavali predstavnici policijskih agencija je ranije ove godine obišla zapadno-balkansku rutu i razmijenila iskustva i informacije sa kolegama iz srodnih agencija na ovoj čitavoj ruti. Ovakav vid saradnje u praksi se pokazao veoma korisnim. U oblasti upravljanja migracijom kroz mapu puta sa Agencijom Evropske unije za azil data je podrška konkretnim projektima koji direktno razvijaju migraciono i azilanske sisteme zemalja Zapadnog Balkana, kako bi isti bili usklađeni sa standardima Evropske unije. U oblasti povratka organizovano je nekoliko udaljenja u zemlje porijekla, te se intenzivno radi na izgradnji kapaciteta za organizaciju budućih udaljenja, odnosno povrataka migranata u njihove zemlje domicil. Od početka 2018. godine do septembra ove godine na teritoriju Bosne i Hercegovine otkriveno je preko 95.000 nezakonitih migranata. Za podnošenje azila izrazilo preko 94%, a stvarni zahtjev za azil je podnijelo nešto malo više od 3% ukupnog broja onih koji su izrazili namjeru za podnošenje azila. Migranti koji nezakonito ulaze uglavnom Bosnu i Hercegovinu kao i druge zemlje zapadno-balkanske rute tretiraju kao tranzitnu zemlju, a zemlje zapadne i sjeverne Europe vide kao svoju konačnu destinaciju. U proteklom periodu Ministarstvo sigurnosti Bosne i Hercegovine u skladu sa raspoloživim mogućnostima i u saradnji sa drugim nadležnim institucijama i agencijama, lokalnim vlastima, preduzimalo sve raspoložive mjere i aktivnosti kako bi Bosna i Hercegovina što efikasnije i humanije odgovorila na postojeću migrantsku situaciju i tu je u prvom redu poboljšana kontrola kretanja migranata na prostoru države, poboljšan je nadzor istočne granice, preuzet je veliki broj akcija na presjecanju lanaca krijumčarenja, pojačani su napori ministarstva na poboljšanju upravljanja migracijama i oni su dali rezultate. U proteklom periodu smo tako zatvorili nekoliko privremenih prihvatnih centara. Kao što nam je poznato, pod uticajem određenih faktora, rute nezakonitih migracija se veoma brzo i lako mijenjaju i u kratkom vremenu se možemo suočiti ponovo sa sličnim problemima, što je posebno vezano sa nekim drugim sigurnosnim izazovima kao što je bio COVID-19 ili drugim sigurnosnim rizicima i prijetnjama. Dame i gospodo, ja se nadam da će drugi Sarajevo Migration Dialogue još više ojačati jedno postojeće međusobno razumijevanje i saradnju i uspostaviti nove mehanizme i saradnje između zemalja na zapadno-balkanskoj ruti, ali i sa drugim zainteresovanim zemljama i sa Evropskom unijom u cjelini. Pored vanjskih sigurnosnih izazova, pred nama su i unutrašnji izazovi koji proističu iz nepostojanja političkog konsenzusa i koordinacije u oblasti upravljanja migracijama, hroničnog nedostatka financijskih sredstava u vezi sa upravljanjem migracijama, kao i različiti operativni izazovi u smislu nedostatka potrebnog broja kvalifikovanih ljudi, materijalno-tehničkih sredstava i drugi slični izazovi. Kako bismo se uspješno i učinkovito suočili sa ovim novim sigurnosnim izazovima, potrebno je dalje jačati sistem upravljanja migracijama, a također nužni su saradnje i zajedničko planiranje kako na regionalnom, tako i na međunarodnom nivou. Tu prije svega mislim i dalje dobru saradnju sa institucijama Evropske unije i drugim zemljama članicama Unije na pojedinačnom nivou. Također ovom prilikom želim da se zahvalim Evropskoj uniji i delegaciji Evropske unije u Bosni i Hercegovini, ambasadoru Sattleru lično, bez čije podrške Bosna i Hercegovina ne bi bilo u mogućnosti obezbediti sve potrebne servise za migrante i osobe u pokretu, kao i svu finansijsku pomoć za izgradnju i jačanje državnih kapaciteta za upravljanje migracijama. Ovdje također želim da posebno zahvalim i pojedinim partnerima Bosne i Hercegovine u ovom smislu, prije svega Švicarskoj, Austriji, Njemačkoj, Italiji i drugima koji su na bilateralnoj osnovi pomagali našu borbu za postizanje jedne bolje kontrole i stabilnijeg sigurnosnog okruženja.
U nastavku pozivamo da nam se obrati gospođa Karin Keller-Suter, federalna kancelarka pravde i policije Švicarske.
Sarajevo today, First, because Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of Switzerland's longest standing partners in the field of migration. Second, because the Western Balkans are a key region for migration between Asia and Europe. And finally, because this dialogue brings together many participants who share the common interest of improving our cooperation along the whole Western Balkan route. In 2009, Switzerland concluded its first migration partnership with Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, and Kosovo, followed in the next 2 years. We plan to conclude our next migration partnership with North Macedonia. This highlights the importance of the region for Switzerland in terms of migration, and this is not about to change. In the last 7 years, more than 1 million people transited the Western Balkans towards Western and Central Europe. This year, compared to the first 6 months of 2021, the number of apprehended migrants on the Western Balkans has almost tripled. Many people remain in the region, which is an enormous challenge for state structures and societies. However, most migrants try to reach Western Europe through irregular channels, benefiting smugglers along the way. During their journey, many migrants are registered and accommodated in several countries along the migration route. In some cases, their asylum claims are examined more than once, which undermines not only national asylum structures, but the global protection system as a whole. In Western and Central Europe as well, secondary migration creates significant challenges. Although my country is further down the migration route, the transit of irregular migrants through the Western Balkans are felt in Switzerland. Lately, we have witnessed a significant increase of irregular migrants who do not need visa to enter some Western Balkan countries. It is essential that we find an effective solution to this problem without delay. Migration challenges cannot and should not be addressed by one country alone. We must therefore step up our cooperation and strengthen our management capacities in every country along the migration routes. I wish to seize this opportunity to thank Turkey, which hosts the largest number of refugees in the world. It is our duty to support Turkey in this noble effort. I very much welcome that the focus of today's conference is placed on return. Return is indeed a central part of any asylum system. The inability to carry out returns poses a serious threat to the asylum system as a whole. We must therefore continue to support each other in building up return capacities. Over the past years, you, dear partners of the Western Balkans, have made great efforts to develop your migration management systems, including return. I commend you on that, and I was glad to learn that your institutions, Minister Cikotic, have successfully carried out earlier this year the first non-voluntary return of a group of Pakistani citizens who were illegally staying in your country. Let me assure that Switzerland remains committed to supporting you in your efforts to further develop an efficient return system. Likewise, we must do more to ensure that countries of origin actually comply with their readmission obligations. I am convinced that this is also something that has to be considered as a common effort, and which needs also the effort of the European Union. Especially the Schengen states must be assured that this system of cooperation will work. And Switzerland, as an associated member to the Schengen area, will do what it can to achieve this aim. Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, as well, we all know that migration challenges do not stop at individual borders. Cross-border cooperation is a key aspect of migration management. I am convinced that regional initiatives such as today's dialogue and also the joint coordination platform that Austria has initiated can greatly contribute to reducing irregular migration and improving migration management along the whole route to the benefit of us all. I very much look forward to your discussions, and I thank you for the joint effort. Thank you.
Hvala gospođi Suter. A sada slijedi video poruka. Zbog nemogućnosti ličnog prisustva, Gerhard Karner, ministar unutrašnjih poslova Austrije, obratit će nam se svima video poruku.
Excellencies, dear ladies and gentlemen, at the very beginning, I would like to thank the Minister of Security of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and in particular, Mr. Sikovic, for organizing the second Sarajevo migration dialogue. Regular exchange with partners is essential, and this becomes even more evident in difficult times. The Sarajevo migration dialogue is an important platform, so we can invest in our most pressing issues in the area of migration and therefore very sorry that I cannot be with you today in Sarajevo due to the tragic death of young Austrian ministers. As you're all aware, we currently find ourselves in the middle of a new migration pattern. Migration pattern for one, the roots is growing and will continue to do so. Additionally, we also confronted with new migrant opportunities. For example, the sharp increase of asylum applications for migrants from countries with almost no chance of and the use of illegal travel via the Western Balkans. We all know that illegal migration can only be tackled together by a chicken approach on the international movement. We are therefore grateful for the commitment and work that has been done so far from Turkey, or West Balkan, as well as new partners and international organizations. But we need to start our efforts if we want to effectively fight illegal migration. We need to further strengthen statistics of our migration rules, combat migrants, support each other in cultivating freedom of journey, and invest in the roles of all the management. Our partners in Western Balkans are Austria's close international alliance, and we are happy that our collaboration is even further in 25 million students. At the end of the migrants round, we have made significant progress also thanks to the work of the joint collaboration force. In addition, the creation of the joint coordination platform has already a very important particular Bosnia and Herzegovina has established an excellent collaboration software, and we have taken many new initiatives to the focus in the area of research. This collaboration is significantly contributing to the successful course in terms of migration from Pakistan to Morocco. As a result, we can consider an important city and on which we want to congratulate our important methodology. I believe that this approach is the best practice model, and I would like to invite all partners to further extend their cooperation in this regard. The current migrant situation in mind, we see many new challenges ahead of us, but by working together, not against each other, we'll do it. I look forward to continuing our joint work and reaching a successful beautiful strategy.
U nastavku još jedna video poruka. Video porukom obratit će nam se Ylva Johansson, Evropska komesarka za unutrašnje poslove.
Good afternoon. This is an important conference for the region and for the European Union. I thank you very much, dear Selmo, for hosting. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person in November in Tirana for our ministerial meeting. This time last year, we faced the fall of Afghanistan to the Taliban, and you rose to that challenge. Several of you, Albania, North Macedonia, Kosovo, helped to get thousands of Afghans to safety by serving as a transit country for Afghan evacuees, showing solidarity with people and with the international community. A solidarity you are also showing now in this time of great need by housing 20,000 Ukrainians in the region fleeing Russia's war of aggression. At a time when millions fled Ukraine and found refuge in the European Union, at a time when all eyes are on the eastern border, I can assure you, our eyes, our hearts and minds are also with you in the Western Balkans. Our close neighbors and enlargement partners, your future is in the European Union. I am very aware of the pressure you are under, of the continuing rise of irregular migration, and I am aware of the important work you are doing, for example in Bosnia-Herzegovina and the region, to manage migration, supported by the European Union and international organizations. I'm glad that the LIPA Center is now up and running, and it's good to see you have systems in place. Enough capacity to fulfill current and future needs, supported by Frontex, which already deploys more than 250 men and women in the region, and conducts joint operations with Albania, Montenegro and Serbia at the EU border. We have negotiated a status agreement with North Macedonia and we will sign it soon. And it's very important to agree on a status agreement with Bosnia-Herzegovina as well. The National Coordination Centers for Border Control are key to information exchange, and will support with our funds systems for identifying and registering migrants. We have already funded the development of master plans for the establishment of such IT registration systems, both for North Macedonia and Montenegro, and provided technical assistance and twinning projects for Serbia's preparations to join Eurodac after accession. Master plans will also be developed for Serbia, Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Kosovo. Returns of people who don't have the right to stay are essential to our migration policy. All returns must be carried out swiftly, with dignity and humanity. Within the European Union, we have just launched a new EU high-level network on return and appointed our first ever EU return coordinator, Mari Juric. I welcome the first return operation which Bosnia and Herzegovina carried out in July in the framework of your readmission agreement with Pakistan. I know that negotiating return agreements or arrangement is a very delicate process. And I assure you, we'll support you on returns with financial support and through Frontex, with the deployment of return specialists and the provision of training. And we'll also support your fight against smuggling, which is cross-border by nature, and we need to combat together. Faced by rising irregular migration, we must work more closely together than ever before. Kosovo has fulfilled all visa liberalization criteria. Now I expect Parliament and Council to move forward. Talking about visas, let me mention a different aspect. It's essential you align your visa policies to ours. Essential for the good functioning of the EU's visa-free regime with several Western Balkan partners. In particular, regarding third countries which present irregular migration or security risks for the EU. We share common borders, common challenges, and a common future. Dear friends, I hope today's conference will inspire you to work together to meet those challenges towards that future.
Koliko je za Bosnu i Hercegovinu važna podrška Evropske unije govori i činjenica da bi naša zemlja teško mogla odgovoriti na mnoga pitanja, dakle migracijska pitanja, bez podrške Evropske unije. Stoga pozivam da nas obrati ambasador Evropske unije u Bosni i Hercegovini, gospodin Johan Zavčar.
Dear ministers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dobro jutro iz moje strane. Vrlo drago mi je da smo opet u Sarajevu, da razgovaramo o jednoj vrlo važnoj temi o migraciji. Velika hvala domaćinu, ministru Cikotiću, da ste nas okupili danas u Sarajevu. I'm very pleased to be here for the second migration dialogue. And I'm even happier that it takes place here in Bosnia-Herzegovina, that Bosnia-Herzegovina is taking the lead on this very important topic of migration. There is no doubt that migration patterns can pose significant challenges for any society. But I would argue here that this is only the case if international cooperation fails, if the migration flows and presence of migrants and refugees is mismanaged, and if the potential benefits are not recognized. I think it's important to recognize that, for instance, the migration crisis we had here in this country, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, that heavily burdened the country, was the result of a governance crisis, first of all. So the key issue today is how to transform the migration system. Any good migration system, aside from the obvious border control concerns, must meet core elements. We have to ensure it meets, first of all, the basic humanitarian needs of the refugees and migrants. Secondly, it has to mitigate the impact on local communities. Very important. We saw what happened when 90% of all the migrants and refugees were up in one canton, in the Unasana canton here in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And thirdly, it needs to recognize the potential benefits of migration. This is why I'm happy to note that there have been positive developments since we last met here a year ago. First of all, the establishment of the multi-purpose reception center in Lipa, which was opened together after the last conference and which can accommodate now 1,500 people. And very importantly, the center is managed by BIH authorities. Secondly, it was mentioned here, the implementation of the readmission agreement with Pakistan. And thirdly, I would mention here the completion of the asylum and migration strategy for the period 21 to 25. And there's one lesson for me, looking at what has been achieved since last year. The one lesson is that progress is possible, also in BIH. Progress is possible in this country if there is political will. And since I'm on it, let me give you two more examples where we did make progress over the last weeks on issues where many people had already given up, and both of them are security related. One, we found agreement, and I hope it's going to be also officially sealed with the Council of Ministers decision still this week, which is Europol, finally making the cooperation with Europol operational. It was a long time in the making. We found an agreement with Mr. Cikotic and their authorities last week, and I'm very hopeful that this will be also now agreed to by the Council of Ministers still this week. Secondly, equally important, the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism. It might sound technical to some of you, but this is a very important achievement for BIH. It has become last week full-fledged member of the European Civil Protection Mechanism, meaning that the country, and we are seeing more and more disasters, catastrophes, natural catastrophes happening throughout the world. It can apply for help, but it can also, equally important, provide help to others. It's a full-fledged member and is sitting now around the table in Brussels when it comes to civil protection. I think this is a very important achievement for Bosnia-Herzegovina, and I believe it's also a good argument for those countries, and the number of those countries are growing, who want to help Bosnia-Herzegovina to move forward on the European path. The next logical step for BiH is the candidate status. We have seen there is movement this year. We have seen, and very happy that we have seen that we have progress now for 2 more Western Balkan countries on the accession path, Albania, North Macedonia. First of all, it's the Serbs. Debate about Bosnia-Herzegovina. Of course, in the end, it will be up to the 27 member states of the European Union, but I'm confident we can move there towards the end of the year. Coming back to migration, I think what is positive, having mentioned this achievement since last year, is that the current situation, of course, also helped by the fact that there are less migrants. I mean, this is a fact, it helps us, but we have also managed to improve the system. We have created more capacities, and the situation for now is under control. What is also positive is that we as the European Union were able to substantially contribute to this improved situation. Since 2018, and Mr. Cikotic mentioned our support, European Union has provided more than 100 million euros to address the immediate needs of refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants, and to help BiH strengthen its migration management capacities. I'm glad to note that we have just committed another 40 million through the individual measure on migration for a period of the next 3 years. The bulk of these EU funds will contribute to the provision of accommodation of refugees and migrants in 4 temporary reception centers. The funds will also ensure protection and support of unaccompanied minors and children, among others. The funds will assist the Service for Foreign Affairs in ensuring voluntary and non-voluntary returns in full respect of the rule of law and fundamental rights, as well as the political turmoil. In light of the political turmoil throughout the world. Despite the initial successes I mentioned earlier, Bosnia and Herzegovina has, of course, a number of remaining challenges. To get to a sustainable migration management system, BiH will need to, first of all, contribute with their own resources. We need to see an allocation of sufficient own funding in the state budget for asylum, migration, and border management. Secondly, and as a result, to increase the capacity in the Ministry of Security, as well as in the Service of Foreign Affairs and Border Police. Thirdly, to adopt, there was an agreement, but now we need to adopt in the Council of Ministers the new asylum migration strategy and adopt the remaining legislation regarding border and migration management. And lastly, and this is something new, we need to see a new location up there in the north after the closure of the reception center in Velika Kladuša, the reception center in Miral. We need to see another temporary location because many migrants are now sleeping out rough in the woods and the winter is approaching. We, the European Union, stand ready to continue supporting BiH in establishing a proper migration management system. while in parallel working together on regional solutions. No country or region is able to address these issues alone in a satisfactory manner. And let me express here my gratitude, first of all, to the Minister Cikudic, his excellent team in the ministry, for today's conference and for the substantial work on migration management in the past years. Your commitment, Minister, made a difference in the last years, and I'm very happy to have been able to accompany this. Let me also thank here the European Union member states who chipped in bilaterally from Slovenia, Austria, Germany, Italy, Czech Republic, and others. It's very important that we recognize this as a joint challenge. Big thanks also to the non-EU member state like Switzerland, who is chipping in here, helping finding joint solution. And lastly, of course, big thanks also to our international partners with whom we work together on this very important issue of migration. The international partners, most of all from the UN family, UNHCR, IOM, and many others who work with us together to find solutions. Thank you very much for having us assembled here, Ms. Cikudic, and I wish everyone a fruitful conference.
Thank you, Mr. Zatle. Čeka nas danas još mnogo razgovora tokom 3 današnja panela. Podsjetit ću da prvi panel počinje u 11 sati. A sada je vrijeme za jednu zajedničku fotografiju, stoga molim govornike i šefove delegacije da se pridruže ovdje na sceni kako bismo napravili zajedničku fotografiju. Nakon toga slijedi kafe pauza. Now it's time for a family photo. I invite the speakers of heads of delegations for a group photo to join here stage.